G'day guys, welcome to today's video, the most anticipated movies of 2020. Starting this month in January, we'll have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys for Life. I really liked Bad Boys 1 and particularly Bad Boys 2, which was more like the sort of Miami Vice movie that I'd been wanting to see. Along with returning characters like Joe Pantolianos as Captain Howard, there are newcomers including Vanessa Hudgens. With February comes Margot Robbie in the standalone Harley Quinn movie Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I'm a huge Batman and DC fan, and even though Margot Robbie's a fellow Aussie, I'm a bit worried because from the leaks and reports, this movie could be quite a woke fest. I hope it's not, but with Ewan McGregor as the villain Black Mask, I'll definitely be checking this out and I'll report back. Also this month is Sonic the Hedgehog. Even though I played many hours of the old Sonic on the Sega Mega Drive, or the Genesis in the US, when I was younger and loved the character, this is not necessarily the sort of kids movie that I'd normally go to see. However, since the studio listened to the fans' outrage at the initial character design of Sonic in the first trailer and delayed the movie and went back and fixed the special effects, I'll be going to see this James Marsden, Jim Carrey starer, if nothing else but to support creatives that listen to what their audience wants and can avoid disasters like we've seen many of in 2019. In March, Emily Blunt returns to the sequel to the surprise hit written and directed by her husband, John Krasinski. This time around, Cillian Murphy joins the cast, and the trailer looks really intriguing. April is No Time to Die. I'm also a big James Bond fan, and so I'm extremely worried about this being super woke. However, it is Daniel Craig's last outing as the super spy, and the draw card for me with this one is Anna de Armas as a... Oh, I can't say Bond girl anymore, can I? Girl in a Bond? The trailer looks surprisingly good, and Bonzy, if that's a word. But we'll see in April if James gets neutered or not. May brings us a movie we should have gotten in 2012. Scarlett Johansson in Black Widow. Disney does it again, and like Han Solo, kills a popular character off in one movie, only to give them a prequel solo movie in the next. Irrespective of that, the trailer does look good, and even though we've seen ScarJo doing the exact same things in Ghost in the Shell or Lucy, we finally get it in a Marvel wrapper. With Rachel Weisz and David Harbour and Marvel's slick production, which they have down pat by now, it looks like it'll be worth watching. Also this month is Fast and Furious 9, directed by Justin Lin, along with the Diesel and the usual returning crew is Helen Mirren, Charlize Theron and John Cena. These movies keep getting more and more ridiculous, but should be some good popcorn fun come May. June and July are the months that I'm looking forward to the most. First up in June is Gal Gadot and Chris Pine in Patty Jenkins' sequel, Wonder Woman 1984. Set in the 80s with a brighter colour palette and tone to the original Wonder Woman, this should be great fun. With Kristen Wiig as a classic Wonder Woman nemesis cheetah, it also stars the Mandalorian himself, or the Red Viper if you prefer, Pedro Pascal as Max Lord. Next up in June, we stay in the 80s and return to the world of fighter pilots and egos with Tom Cruise in Top Gun Maverick. I don't have to say how much of a classic movie Top Gun is, and when I heard they were making a sequel, I was hoping it wasn't going to be CGI planes, and from the looks of the trailer, I'm already feeling the need for speed. With Miles Teller as Goose's son, Maverick's old wingman, and real fighter plane footage again, this should be really cool. Hopefully. July, and the hits just keep on coming. Ghostbusters Afterlife, the unofficial part 3, or 4 if you include the video game, of the Ghostbusters franchise. Following the events of the second movie, and ignoring the Ghostbusters 2016 reboot, which took place in a different timeline, it'll be interesting to see as the tone of the first trailer looks a lot darker than expected. But with Finn Wolfhard and Paul Rudd on the team, there should be some laughs and hopefully a nice passing of the torch cameo from Bill Murray. Now is my number one most anticipated movie of the year, director Christopher Nolan's latest cinematic epic, Tenet. Christopher Nolan is my favourite director and this generation's Alfred Hitchcock. Every movie he makes feels like an event and demands seeing on the biggest screen possible. His preference is that you see it in IMAX, which of course I will. His movies are always mysterious and make you think about the concepts raised way beyond the running time. This one looks kind of in a similar vein to Inception, but time bending instead of dream manipulation. It stars future Oscar winner John David Washington and future Batman Robert Pattinson. This looks like a super cool mind bender, and of course, being a Nolan movie, Michael Caine's in it. Need any other reason than that to see it? August, and we go back to the past again, this time with Bill and Ted Face the Music. Bill and Ted, another classic, and now Bill and Ted in their 50s haven't written that song that's supposed to save the world. With Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter back for one last journey for Wild Stallions, it should be...
excellent!
September, The King's Man comes out, and it looks like a darker, more serious prequel to Matthew Vaughn's Kingsman movies. Ralph Fiennes, Gemma Atherton, and particularly Charles Dance are the reasons that I'll be checking out this one. October. I'm not a real big horror fan, but October is Halloween, and so comes another sequel to the original two movies called Halloween Kills. Jamie Lee Curtis is back, again, as Laurie Strode, to fight a demented zombie serial killing brother, Michael Myers. Anthony Michael Hall's in this one too, so I'll check it out for you and report back. November, only the second Marvel movie for the year, Eternals, which I can pretty much guarantee 99% of people have never heard of and have no idea about. But starring Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, they're sort of space royalty. If you didn't get the message yet, then it has Kit Harington, Jon Snow, and Richard Madden, the King in the North, Robb Stark. As a complete palate cleanser at the other end of the scale this month is Kong vs. Godzilla, the mightiest battle between two classically overused Japanese monsters. This should be really good fun, as long as they focus on the monsters and not some stupid human side story. And finally, December 2020, another highly anticipated month, two great releases. Firstly, director Denis Villeneuve's vision of Frank Herbert's Dune. The director that brought us Arrival and Blade Runner 2049, Denis will bring his unique vision and care and attention to this classic sci-fi tale. With big names like Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Zendaya, Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista, Javier Bardem, plus many more, and the promise of multiple films, this promises to be the definitive big screen version of Arrakis. To finish off the year on the best note possible, the return of Eddie Murphy as Prince Akeem in Coming to America 2. Coming to America 1 is my favourite comedy of all time, and everyone would love to see Eddie Murphy back to full form. Not only are the original cast returning like Arsenio Hall and James Earl Jones, but also brings the awesome Wesley Snipes. This should be a great and fantastic Christmas present to end 2020. Well guys, it looks like a full year ahead of exciting movies and reviews. Of course, I'll be doing full reviews of all the movies mentioned in today's video, along with a lot of other movies coming up throughout the year. 2020 is going to be a full year. Some honourable mentions of other flicks coming out this year are Fantasy Island, The Invisible Man, New Mutants, Morbius the Living Vampire, Venom 2, along with many others, and there's always a surprise or two that comes out of nowhere. That's not to mention TV, with an abundance of streaming channels and even more launching this year, like HBO Max. There'll be no shortage of content that I'll make sure to keep you informed about. Thanks for watching and checking out the channel. If you like the content, don't forget as always, like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.